I can't deny it, folks. I live in a really, really beautiful place. And I like sharing it with you. But I am thinking today, reflecting on all of the wins actually that I've been experiencing. And there is a decided theme of let it rip. Of going out there and doing life large. We've become oh so timid and weak-willed as a people, the English. We have a proud and valiant history of, frankly, of great warrior kings and success in battle. And we can argue forever over the political machinations and whether all the people, our forebears, were good guys or bad guys. But speaking in plain facts, we've had some really courageous and principled and noble people in our wake. And I honestly feel like we have a responsibility, a duty. It's not a word we use very often now, but we have a duty to actually fulfill our potential and go out into the world and do really incredible things. And last night, Katie Hopkins does her weekly rant at 8 o'clock in the evening UK time. And sometimes she's interacting a lot with the audience and going through various things that have happened in media, blah, blah, blah. But last night she had a massive rant about how all of the stuff going down with reform and, you know, Nigel Farage not wanting to share the premiership of the party with Rupert Lowe, and you know, it's all of it is totally and achingly predictable. You know, it's not a surprise. You've got people who are vying to rule the country and we're surprised when they're egomaniacs. You know, I think that we have to give credit where credit's due. Nigel Farage was basically chiefly and solely responsible for getting Brexit, which is the biggest political development and cultural development of our time. And it's an example of something that was told to be completely impossible, impossible, but he did it. And we have to acknowledge that if we are completely honest. And again, you can agree or disagree with the politics of the thing, but facts are facts and results are results, and you can get on with the people or you can despise them. But to me, when I was actually watching the Katie's Arms, which she does every Friday, when I was watching it live last night, I felt a tremendous sense of shakenness, if that's a word, in me. I felt a huge amount of a sort of violence almost. I felt like my system had been corrupted a bit because people still place so much emphasis and hope in politics and all these different organizations that they think are going to make their lives different, and of course they're not going to. And the point of politics, which I think frankly is being enormously unmasked now, politics has never been about the common good, ever. How could it possibly be a tiny group of people wanting to preside over tens or hundreds or even billions of people? How could that be possible? Think about it. You just have to think about it for a few minutes. But somebody like Katie Hopkins, huge figure, whether you like it or not, it's a very Marmite episode, you know, you either love it or hate it. There's very little nuance in between, but we'll come to that. But the thing is, she's got a platform of millions of people. Official follow accounts would say millions of people follow her, and we know that there are people who aren't subscribed who will watch her all the time. So she could be speaking up for individual responsibility. She could actually be informing the masses who basically do what they're told and follow what advice they're given. She could be saying, stop putting your faith in any of these people. Start doing what it is that you alone can do. Take personal responsibility. She could be doing that. Of course she isn't, because she she has her platform in part because she speaks the language and she talks the talking points of many of the people that are following her, and it's such an enormous trap. And the thing is, on this live she was getting so angry completely pointlessly, because her anger, as heartfelt as it is for the people who have voted for reform and have been brutally disappointed, inevitably, any person could tell you that was going to happen, but she wants the best for those people on her channel. But it won't make any difference, because there are people still in there saying, oh yeah, I'm going to keep voting reform. And it's like, well, what for? It's not going to get the outcomes that you want. And I know that there are plenty of people who will call me incredibly naive and say, oh, well, the thing is, Martin, you're just one person. What can you do? A hell of a fucking lot if you actually believe in yourself. And when I was talking about the, from one extreme to the other, there's very little nuance in between. Well, the way through the in between, frankly, is what am I responsible for? What can I change? How can I make a positive difference? That's as good a focus as any. As good a focus as any. And Mike, oh wow. Here we go. Can I alter the screen? There we go. Proper. That's a sunset. That's a beautiful sunset. There's beauty in the world. Focus on that. That's a good driver, if ever there was one. So learn to stop being distracted by all of the fucking pantomime that politics and all these different things, they're too massive for you to take on in one go. You have to start with yourself, and then you will be amazed at how things can grow. You just have to start focusing on what matters: good principles, nobility, integrity, personal responsibility, and then take each stage as it comes, and you'll be amazed at what progress you can make. So, my dear friends, let it rip.